Oh, you just pressed play on This Week with Drunk Astrology. My name is Graham Breitenstein. I'm your astrologer and the creator of Drunk Astrology. If you're looking for someone to make astrology make sense to you and for you, well, my friend, you have come to the right place. Here on this podcast, we discuss the weekly cosmic weather. And when we break it down, we break it down. I believe that astrology can be used as a tool to inform your daily decisions and enhance your day-to-day life. So if you're ready to have a hell of a lot of fun with astrology, make some strategic decisions, and to just keep it real, well, that journey starts right now. Hello, astro lovers, and welcome to the second week of the new year, January 9th through the 15th, 2023 is what we're here to talk about. And finally, this week, we get an energy shift. We get a turn of direction. We get a boost of energy and motivation and drive. So don't worry if you have been feeling like blah. It's okay. This week we get our first rocket fuel boost thanks to Mars. So my goodness, how are you feeling? How are you doing? As I said at the end of 2022 and the beginning of 2023, it is a slow start, okay? So I know there are some people that have got natal retrogrades in their chart that are like, I don't know what everybody's talking about. I'm great. But for the rest of us that don't have a natal Mercury-Mars retrograde, it's been a little difficult to find inspiration and motivation and drive and all the things. But as promised, this week we get a first jilt out of the sludge. And then next week we really go forward motion thanks to Mercury stationing. So we'll talk about that next week. But this week, Mars stations direct after a long period of having a retrograde story in motion. So this goes all the way back to September 4th of 2022, okay? That's when Mars first entered his retrograde shadow. So we've been riding the brakes since September. So what is that? September, October, November, December. 4.5 freaking months that we have been living with this energy of riding the brakes. And I'm going to give all signs a horoscope about this, like where you can expect momentum to turn, the energy to change, and for things to start moving in your favor again. Because everybody's had Mars retrograde in some part of their chart. And if you don't know your chart, it's okay. I'm going to go sign by sign in a second and just give you that. But yeah, since September 4th. Now, Mars stationed retrograde on October 30th last year, but he was in his pre-retrograde shadow from the 4th of September through 30th of October. So you got a preview of the story. So if you want, you can go back to September, October, and kind of see, okay, what was going on for me then? And then how from October 30th to this week, January 12th, how you've had to revise your strategy. You've had to go back and revisit things from September, October. You've had to redo, re-edit, revise, reunite, reconnect, relive. There's all it's retrograde, so it's all the RE words, but with a Mars component. Mars is work, Mars is energy, it's drive, it's sex, so sex drive. It is frustration, it's anger, it's all the things that make you see red, So we've been seeing red and being, I always think of the movie Inside Out, where all the emotions have little figures and little characters, and I always imagine the little red guy that was anger. I imagine that as being Mars, especially when he's retrograde. But to add to that also, he's in the sign of Gemini, which is Mercury's sign. So now Mars is looking to Mercury to help make sense of it all. But now Mercury's been retrograde and in his shadow since December. So all kinds of signals, scrambles, mixed messaging, trying to figure out what's true, what's not. That has been in the zeitgeist. I mean, look at the political landscape and how that's been since September of last year and to this point now. There has just been a lot of energy around that, around what's true and what's not. I mean, I guess that's a theme in politics all the time, who do you trust, what's true, what's not. But it gets so much more potent, especially because we had an election on in this retrograde season and in the eclipses, and it's just been a lot. So as I'm even saying this, I want to send you the message of I hope that you've been giving yourself grace. And I know that it's easier said than done. I know for myself, I give myself daily readings morning and night. That really helps me find the grace and find the solitude and the serenity and the frustration. But I hope that you've been extending yourself grace. The idea, cosmically speaking, is when you have two personal planets like this, Mercury and Mars, both retrograde, the slowdown serves a purpose because on the other side of that is extreme momentum and extreme build. And, it's like the universe slows us down so that we have a respite. We take a rest. We take a little bit of a sabbatical and go, okay, I'm going to slow down so that I can review these things because on the other side of this, things are about to go. Things are about to take off. So that's the idea. So if you've been, trying to work against the energy and push yourself through, I would encourage you this week to give yourself some time and space and energy to just slow down because it is the energy shifting. And I especially want to talk to the Aries, the Scorpios, the Virgos, and the Geminis. Because Mars rules Aries and Scorpio, so it's been slow. And I just had a reading with an Aries yesterday and was just like, I just feel like everything is up. Nothing's working. Nothing's panning out. And I don't know what to do because like X, Y, and Z isn't right. And I was telling her well, just you wait. Just you wait because Thursday is going to switcheroo that energy right around. Now, the only cosmic caveat here is that Mercury's still retrograde until next Wednesday, the 18th. So while Mars is in Gemini and he's going to be until March, and he's going to be in his post-retrograde shadow till March 16th. So he's going to be doing his cleanup, right? He's going to be picking up what he stalled. But he's right now still answering to a retrograde Mercury. So there is still there's an energy pivot, but there's still a little bit of a break. There's still a little bit of hold on. Let's get a little bit more info. Let's revisit this one more time. Let's research a little bit more. Let's dig a little bit deeper and into seeing what this really is, what the situation is. Before we just pick up and go, let's just take one more look. And I know for myself, I've been doing a lot of back end work on drunkastro.com. I've been building a lot of things on the back end. I've been making a lot of changes, but it's been retrograde. So it's that some days I will zoom through the things that need to get done, and other days I get stuck or hung up on one tiny little thing. And, I've had to say, okay, let astrologer Graham win. Real life Graham is like, what the actual F is going on? And the other side is like, what the actual F is going on, Graham. So just lean in, step back, close the laptop, step away. So, I'm not, as your astrologer, I am not exempt. I like to say that because just because I can sit here and break down the energy for you, it does not mean that I am not experiencing the same thing. But that is the main feature of this week, is this Mars stationing direct, because it's just been so long. We also have a Libra quarter moon, so relationships are up. It is the quarter moon that pulls on the Cancer full moon from last week. So, we're starting the year off with this like intuitive hit, this sentimental hit, this focus on home and family and foundation that really sets the tone for the entire year. So now with this fourth quarter moon in Libra, it's, we're having to look at relationships, boundaries in relationships. Where are they necessary to protect both parties in the relationship? Or if it's, if it's something where it's your full moon is more about a collective, it's like, all right, well, where does the collective benefit from structure and balance? And, kind of like an equal give and take, so-and-so is doing this, I'm doing this, and X, Y, and Z are doing this. It's really about creating equilibrium in the process of illumination and elimination, because a full moon in Cancer, it can be a breakup, it can be a breakthrough and a breakout, but it's very powerful energy, and especially when it comes to family dynamics, and that's genetic and found family, right? So there's, this quarter moon in Libra is pulling all of that and really highlighting which relationship dynamics, can use a little protection and boundaries to support the infrastructure of the relationship. But what the Cancer full moon shows, you can't really unsee. So you just have to acknowledge it, you have to recognize it, and then now quarter moon this weekend says, all right, now let's decide what we need in order to stand on solid ground again. There could be a little accountability, responsibility needs to be owned or taken somewhere in that. So just keep that in mind. And then the last little like woo 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 that we have this week is the one and only day in January that we have the nodes direct. So, I feel like I said a lot last year. I always say when the nodes are direct, because that's the time that you shake hands, you send a note, you write a message, you make a phone call, you make a pitch, you let whatever you're working on, you lend it to someone else's ears, you say it, you put yourself out there, you get eyes and ears on what it is you're actually doing. And last year we had a lot of months where the nodes were direct a lot. But this year's starting off with one day this month, and then in February it's not until later in February, and there's only like 4 days or 5 days. It's like 4 or 5 days next month. So that is why I keep telling you when the nodes are direct, because they're rare opportunities, they're rare days, they're rare moments in time. So that is why I highlight this for you. So this week it's Sunday, the 15th of January, which happens to be my baby's birthday, and he is a faithful listener. So Herman, happy birthday. I love you very much. I cannot wait to celebrate you. And how much more special is it that your big day falls on the same day that the nodes are direct? So fated opportunities await, fated events await. It's the big 3-5 for him. So just, gosh, I'm so excited about it. So that for you, yes, it's a Sunday, but that means you better get yourself out the door. And I'm talking to the listeners now. I'm talking to everyone. I mean, Herman, you're a listener too, but this is for everybody. Sunday, get yourself out of your comfort zone. Get out of the nest. Get out of wherever you are and go out and about and mingle, mix, and just get yourself out there, because it's important. And okay, so just a couple little news board items before we move into the Mars retrograde horoscope, or the Mars, I'm sorry, whoa, Graham. watch your tongue. The Mars and Gemini stationing direct horoscope, where you can expect the energy to turn. That horoscope is coming. But first, just a couple little news board items. I am going to link in the show notes, so wherever you watch this show, whether it's YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google, I'm going to put in the show notes a link to the 2023 vision board template. A lot of clients are loving this vision board. And if you have not looked at it or took a screenshot of the template and made your own, I'm telling you, with the energy shift this week and next week, you're going to want a vision of what you want 2023 to look like, okay? You're going to want it. So I'm going to link that vision board in there. And then I'm also going to link the Cancer full moon horoscopes, because this Libra quarter moon that we just talked about is pulling on that Cancer full moon, and I wrote horoscopes for all 12 signs. So to get your full moon horoscope, just click that link in the bio. Oh my God, I'm so used to social media. Click the link in the show notes, and you'll go and you'll be able to read the full Cancer full moon horoscope. And then lastly, I'm going to link the 2023 yearly reading. It is in full effect. And let me just tell you, a 40 card spread. Now, and I usually get really inspired, or I get some kind of like message or some kind of hit to lay more cards. So it's kind of like a 40-ish card spread, because, I'm thorough and I like to give you all the information that I can give you. So, but the 40 card spread, then the document that has all of just every single month laid out, hot dates, parts of your chart with the new moons and the full moons. Like, you get so many customized horoscopes in this 2023 yearly reading. It is the most thorough and most full of the most information that I've ever given in the last 2 years that I've been doing the reading. Now this is my 3rd year. So I'm going to link that as well, because if you want to bulletproof your year and really see where your hot days are, see where certain events are taking place, then baby, the 2023 yearly reading is where it's at. Okay, so now, those are the news board items. We are going to shift into the horoscope for all of you for Mars and Gemini. Now that this retrograde is ending this week on Thursday, the 12th. Yeehaw! So with the fire signs, Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius, Mars has been retrograde through your relationships. So the frustrations can be work relationships, work related, but it also in your personal life. I mean, Sagittarius, especially for you, this has been in your 7th house of VIP relationships and partnerships. So if you've had a breakup, if you've had any kind of a split, whether it's a friend or romantic partner, then you can expect now, this is not to say that returning to the relationship is the answer. Only you can say that. But this is saying that, now if you've been in the mud, if you've been in the muck and just kind of like reeling from a breakup, well, Sag, you can expect this to turn around and, your joie de vivre picks back up. That is your energy shift. Leos, there's, friction on the friend front and groups and communities, and if you're working in a collaborative environment, there could have been friction on that front. This could be work, this could be colleagues, but it's more like friends. So if your circle of friends or your circle of like collaborative folks, any kind of group that you're a part of or a member of, or maybe you're the owner of, the leader of a group. If there's been any kind of like friction or stall on that front, this is likely when the energy switches and you can restore balance, restore energy and drive on the friend front. And then Aries, your close-knit relationships. This could be family, found family, sisters, brothers, cousins. There's been a lot of push and pull. Ride the brakes, press go, and then, that's not really working. But having to like kind of collect and gather with your friends, and, just having to really navigate these tricky tricky waters it's been since your ruling planet has been retrograde. So if there's been any kind of friction or any kind of like upset or frustration, the energy changes, the landscape changes as of Thursday. Moving on to the earth signs, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, it's all work related. Now, this is home front, this is home turf for the earth sign. So Taurus, your money might have been a little funky. Your income, your ability or willingness to weigh your outgoing, incoming checks and balances. That's what I'm looking for. So if your income's been a little funky and a little all over the place and a little off balance and off kilter, could even be, things at home, design ideas at home, creative ideas at home. Things could have got stalled, projects at work and home. Thursday, energy shifts. Virgo, man, your high profile work has just been, and I'm, as a Virgo myself, I feel it. So Virgo, I know. The work front has been funky and frustrating, and things pick up. It seems like you're taking 2 steps forward, and then you fall back 5 steps. The energy is about to change. So get ready, because Mars is going to be moving forward through the top part of your chart, and this is a powerful zone for reputation, for acknowledgement, recognition, accolades, promotions, raises. So Virgo, that's where that energy shift, you can expect that to take place. Capricorn, work, your daily work. How you show up, it's been a little funky, it's been a little dicey. So Capricorn, it's all good. You're now going to be moving forward. Now, this also has to do with health and wellness. So if you've been a little, what's the word I'm looking for? If you've been a little all over the place, I guess. Not exactly the words I was looking for, but if you've been, oh my gosh, why can't I think of the freaking word? If you've been a little not unbalanced, this could be unbalanced, but inconsistent. Good Lord, my brain. If you've been a little inconsistent with your healthcare routine or just any routines in general, this now with Mars stationing on Thursday restores balance into that area of life. So health, wellness, kind of just overall well-being, finding some woosah. This has been a slowdown to get your, to health in order and to get your ideas together for the work that you want to do. Mars is moving forward as of Thursday and now propels you forward onto the work front. Now, air signs, we're talking about the Geminis, the Libras, and the Aquarians. Y'all have been hot with Mars retrograde in Gemini. So Geminis, this is like your image. I mean, just think about, I know it's like almost saying like Voldemort in the Harry Potter movies, but look at everything that Donald Trump has been experiencing. He's a Gemini. The, hit Mars in your sign going back has really been thwarting your image and, your direction and where you're going, the lack of knowing where you're going. Let's look at Trump's story as we move forward after this and see what, if there are ramifications, what the repercussions and the consequences are. So Geminis in general, if you've been a little cloudy, a little foggy about where you're going, what you're doing, that energy changes on Thursday. Libras, where are you going? What is your vision? What is your... Mars has been asking you to review this. Where do you want to go? Where do you want to end up? What's your big picture? Are you moving towards your big picture? Are you thinking too small? If you've been thinking too small and you're a Libra, likely this has been a really frustrating period of time from September 2022 to now. So now it's about thinking about your big picture and thinking about how you can think bigger. Just go bigger. Think, expand. This is travel plans. This is, so likely Libras over the next few months when Mars is cleaning up everything that he's messed up over the last few months. There's likely travel involved, but also it's just like, okay, am I thinking too small? That's the question I want you to consider. Aquarians, your self-expression has been a little down. It's almost like a muzzle. And Mars retrograde has been like having you question, maybe how willing you are to put yourself out there, wear your heart on your sleeve, big romantic gestures, or a lack thereof. Then thinking about authenticity. And Mars retrograde might have had you moving in a way that wasn't as authentic as you truly are. So now that energy switches, and it's an affirmation to say what it is you want, do what it is you want, feel the way you want to feel, express the way you feel without any limitations on no limitations on yourself as a result of thinking, well, how is someone else going to respond? That's what Mars retrograde, Mars stationing direct out of retrograde is helping you come to the other side of. Get your confidence back. This is a good self-esteem booster. And then water signs, looking at the Cancers, the Scorpios, and the Pisces. Cancers, you've really been asked to process. This zone is like putting, like Mars in this zone in the 12th house is really like putting the bully through spiritual school. So wherever you've wanted to just like let go or escape, this retrograde season has been so much about escapism and getting, just kind of like disappearing, like doing a nice little disappearing act. And maybe you weren't able to disappear like you wanted to because Mars has been retrograde in this zone, being frustrated in the fact that it can't just like dissolve. But it's been a season of looking at what can go, what can you expunge, what can you let go of. That's physical belongings, that's emotional baggage, that's self-sabotage. It's been a review on all of those things, and now energy changes, and now time to fly. You'll still be in this zone through March, but now moving forward. Scorpios, you've been in the muck. You've been in your own thing, having to look at fear, having to look at self-doubt, having to look at trauma, having to really just revisit things that have been holding you back. Now, this is actually your zone. This is the Scorpio-ruled zone. So this is like, kind of home turf, but in a way that is, like in a way of like, oh, I'm being held back. There's something that I need to evaluate myself. I need to evaluate my demons. I need to revisit my shadows and do some work. So you've been really asked to like swim around the swamp for, for what did I say? 4 months, September, October, November, December. Yeah, 4.5 months. So now that energy picks up, and now it's time to make proper investments into yourself. That could be, it can be inheritance. It can be debt. It could be moving and property, any kind of like just making investments, taxes. It could be time, for some of you that are business owners, like myself included. But Scorpios, it's a time to like really get your shit together, Portia. I don't know if anybody has watched The White Lotus, but season 2, Herman and I just finished, and our new catchphrase for everything is "Get your shit together, Portia." Sorry for anyone that listens with kids around. But honestly, it's Scorpios. It's time to get your ish together after Thursday, and in a great way, and in a way of like investing time, energy, love, and money into yourself and into your future. And Pisces, on friction on the home front, it's been a real big time of reevaluating your home space. Some of you might have moved, or now you've been considering moving, and now as of Thursday moving forward, you might actually make the move. This is looking at your family relationships, but that's also genetic and found family. So if there's been any friction, if there's been separation, if there's been any kind of breakup, or any kind of just like stress or friction on the home front, now that energy changes. Mars moves forward. He's going to clean it up over the next few months. And then, then my fingers are crossed that, family, peace, serenity are restored. This is very much about your emotional and financial security and foundation at home. Okay, so that's your Mars in Gemini. Moving forward, horoscopes. We are now going to shift into the moons. and talk about them very fast because, of course, I've overspoken. On Monday, January 9th, the moon is in Leo. It goes void at 5:52 p.m. Remember, all the times I give you on this podcast are Pacific Standard Time. At 5:52 p.m., the moon is void with an opposition to Saturn. So that's like it's a little pull on what you want and what someone else wants. It's kind of a slam dunk. It could be a no energy. You want one thing, and an authority figure says, not so much. Then on Tuesday, the 10th, the moon enters Virgo at 7:15 a.m. Quiet day Tuesday. It's very nice. Wednesday, the 11th, the Virgo moon makes adjusting aspects and nice aspects at the same time. So, it's kind of like one of those days. It's just a nice flow, though. I like the flow of Wednesday. On Thursday, the 12th, the Virgo moon goes void at 3:06 p.m. with a trine to Pluto. That is very positive. Virgo moon loves to get things done. Make a list, check it twice, or make your vision board, check it twice. If you've already made one, make changes. The trine to Pluto is very supportive, very collaborative, very juicy. Things are working in your favor. At 6:56 p.m. on Thursday the 12th, the moon enters Libra. The Libra moon is very busy on Friday the 13th. Oh, I just realized that this week, Friday the 13th. Okay. Maybe I'll watch Scary Things with Herman and prep for his birthday. But the Libra moon is very busy on Friday. So just keep that in mind. That is a busy day. Wherever Libra falls in your chart, you'll likely be doing things related to that situation. Then on Saturday the 14th, we have the fourth quarter moon in Libra at 6:10 p.m., 24 degrees, 38 minutes of Libra. So look for 24 degrees in your chart. Look for the cardinals. So Libra, Aries, Cancer, Capricorn. That's where balance is needed. That's where, you just have to look at this. Like, that's why I say look at the Cancer full moon horoscope, because it's pulling on, the relationship dynamics that have been illuminated and need some sort of boundary. Then on Sunday, the 15th, the Libra moon goes void at 12:40 a.m., just after midnight, with a square to Pluto. So that's separation. That's an energy of needing to overcome obstacles in relationships. Keep that in mind. The moon enters Scorpio at 4:08 p.m. It has adjusting aspects to Jupiter and Mars, so it's kind of like one of those days where you just have to be flexible. Baby, be flexible with what we do. The moon is in Scorpio Monday the 16th. That's also Martin Luther King Jr.'s... that's actually, no. Herman's birthday is the 15th, which is MLK's birthday as well. But Martin Luther King Day, the holiday, is Monday the 16th. Moon's in Scorpio, very busy on Monday, and goes void on Tuesday the 17th at 6:27 a.m. sextile to Pluto. So very positive forward motion. It's a little more nerves and frenetic butterfly type of energy, but it is great closing aspects. So that's wonderful. Planetary-wise, Monday, great day to connect with relationships. Venus has a trine to Mars retrograde. So if there's been any kind of stall in relationships, especially on the work front, but even on the romance level too, Venus with Mars on Monday is a great reconnection. So that's a great day for reconnection. If you've been kind of like distant from someone, this is a great day to reach out. On Wednesday, Mercury retrograde has his second square to Chiron. So I want you to look back to December 14th. Honor around those dates, maybe 2 days before, 2 days after. In the collective, that is the day that Twitch, that's the day that he was announced dead. Chiron being the wound and trauma and the healer. So we might expect to see, an update from his family in some way, shape, or form. But you can go back to that time on your own level and just look at that and see, okay, what was happening and so you can kind of expect what's coming back up for a review. On Thursday, Venus has a sextile to Chiron. That's a great moving forward energy with the wound. And that's the day that Mars stations direct at 12:56 p.m. Hooray, hooray, hurrah. Saturday the 14th, Venus has a square to Uranus at 5:22 p.m., so that's a switcheroo. That's an unexpected kind of like, wait, what? No, don't change the plan on me. But when Uranus is involved, you got to get flexible with the plan, so just stay flexible. Also, the Juno, the asteroid of marriages and partnerships, Saturday's the day that Juno enters Aries, so relationships, marriages, partnerships get real, become a hot topic. Become real sexy and spicy. So it also can be a little self-focused. So be careful. But that's the day. And then the 15th is, again, the only day in January that the nodes are direct. Okay, folks? So that is your energy for January 9th through the 15th. Again, everything is linked in the show notes. Your vision board template, your Cancer full moon horoscope, and your yearly reading. Everything is linked down there. I hope you have a wonderful week. Energy is about to change. So here it comes. Get ready. I'll see you throughout the week on social media. All right. Big hugs. Bye. This is Graham Breitenstein, and you've been listening to This Week with Drunk Astrology. If you want to follow Drunk Astrology, head to Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and hit that follow button. And if you want to learn how to put astrology in motion for you, head to drunkastro.com and get on the insider list. If you haven't already, subscribe, rate, and review this podcast on Apple, Spotify, and Google platforms. Tune in next week for yet another opportunity to work in sync with the stars. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you soon.